How do you bring joy and happiness to others around in your life? Hey there, wonderful you. My name is Barot, and today's self reflection is just that question. I was asking myself this question as it's 2020, and our whole world has completely shifted. Throughout this year, I've asked myself over and over. Actually, I haven't asked myself over and over, I've kind of taken a lot of actions. Last night, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do for work income. And three things were popping into my mind from different books that I've read and different mentors in business. The first one was, what problem do you want to solve in the world? I know it's a big one. This one is from Seth Godin, and he's repeating this in many of his books. He's well known in the marketing world, and he keeps repeating to people, when you're trying to figure out what you want to be doing for work, it's what problem do you want to be solving in the world, in people's lives. It could be a small problem or it could be a bigger problem depending on who you are and your personality and what you're willing to take on. So that was the first thing that I was going through. And then the second point was creating happiness for others. The creating happiness for others is the biggest one that created my question on how do I bring joy and happiness in other people's lives. Finish with a third point being love your customers. Now, this is one that I try to keep in mind on a regular basis because your customers are going to be people you're going to be working on a day-to-day basis. And if you don't love them, work is going to be not fun. So, loving your customers is crucial. And in order to love your customers, it's also a point of like, who do you want to be working with? Who do you want to be working for? And choosing those consciously so that when you wake up in the morning and you go to work, you go, yes, I love the people I'm working for and I want to keep serving them well. To go back to the creating happiness, I was trying to figure out how I can create happiness in a business, a project that I like to do in other people's life. And then I came back to the self-reflecting question on how do I, Tara, already create joy and happiness in people's lives? I sent this to close friends and family around, and two types of answers came out. The first one was a friend who replied by the little moments that when we spend time together, in person or online, that make us smile, that make us feel good, that makes you appreciate the other person for taking the time that they're taking with you. The second answer surprised me a little bit more, and that's why I would like to suggest this to you as a self-reflecting prompt, is in order for me to figure out how do I bring happiness to their lives, was how do they bring happiness to their own lives? I wasn't expecting that answer, as in I was more expecting little criteria and details about how I was creating happiness in their lives. And that surprised me because the last few years I've been focusing on what makes me happy for me. So I know how I create my own happiness for my life. It's been a process, and it hasn't been overnight. It's taken, I said the last couple of years, but it's taken really 4 years for me to really stop doing everything for other people around me because they wanted me to do it, and to really focus, what do I want to be doing for myself? And yeah, that was a journey. And to have my friends tell me like they need to figure out, or they need to reflect on how they create happiness in their own lives, was unexpected. Um, and so that's what I'd like to bring out to you is how do you bring happiness to your own life? And then ask around, how do you bring happiness to the people who are close to you in your life? The second part I say ask around because when people come back to you with an answer, it truly is wonderful. And it reminds you why you matter and why you are loved and cared for and appreciated. Because you are truly wonderful. And we need to have that reminded to us because we are not the best self-advocate for ourselves, unfortunately. And having others remind us that is power. And keep those somewhere so that you can reread over them when you really need it. When you're down and feeling like you're not moving forward and nothing's working, go back to what people say about you, and that will give you a boost of energy on its own. Thank you for watching. Hope you've taken something away from this. If you have, please do share on any media that you're using, you're watching. And until next time, thanks.